I wanted to title this Why Relationships Fail. When I talk about relationships, I'm not just talking about, intimate relationships. That's one of them. I'm not just, I'm talking about relationships, friendships, any ship that's selling, right? Partnerships, business ships, everything. I want to just talk about real quick. Now, there's a lot of reasons why relationships fail, but I want to talk about 4 or 5 main reasons why I think relationships fail. Number one, okay? Number one, and write this down when I say it because I want somebody taking notes. Number one, a lot of relationships fail because there's no communication. Okay, when I mean communication, let's take it a step further. I mean connection. Somebody had just said, we spend more time on our phone than we do our partner. And it's true. We've all been guilty of it. A lot of times we spend more time looking down than we spend looking up. We spend more time disconnected, right, from our significant other or from our friends because we're so connected to a world full of strangers. And I'm not saying that social media is the cause because we have to take responsibility. But when we don't have connection, all right, we can't go heart to heart. Connection is the oxygen. Let's write this down. Oh, I'm about to get crunk. Connection is the oxygen. Is the oxygen to your relationship. It's the oxygen to your friendship. What's connection? It's a deeper form of communication because anybody can communicate. You can communicate in ignorance. You can communicate in anger. But to really connect with somebody, you have to understand that person, right? You have to take time to feel that person. Connection is the oxygen to your relationship. Without it, it will die. Most people don't communicate. Most people hold things in. Most people don't talk. When's the last time you talked to your significant other about what was going on in their life? What's the last time you talked about your dreams, your goals for each other? When's the last time you talked to your friends about that? Okay? Without connection, without communication, your relationship, your friendship will die. It is the oxygen to your relationship. A lot of times in relationships, we're not even hearing each other. We're always just trying to argue. I always say, man, in anything, one of the greatest things that you can have is actually understanding, right? Understanding the person. When you actually feel that person and you're listening uninterrupted, right? You're actually giving your full undivided attention. The most important thing you can give to a person, listen to me, is attention, right? Is focused attention. And you let that person know that what they're talking about or their presence in that moment, they're the most important thing to you. Okay? Focused attention. Not talking to them while the TV's on, not talking to them and thinking about something else, not talking to them and putting down your phone is disrespectful, right? It's disrespectful. It shows that you don't care when somebody's talking. So not just in relationships, but in general, when somebody's talking, give them your full undivided attention or don't give them your attention at all. It's just facts. Okay? So number one, most relationships fail because they lack communication. They lack understanding. And communication is the oxygen to your relationship. Okay. Number two, like I said, there's a lot of other things too. But number two, another reason why relationships fail, because people are freaking selfish. Okay. People are freaking selfish. Remember this. Write this down. Tattoo it on your brain. Selfishness will never create togetherness. If you're in a relationship, a friendship, a partnership, a business ship, it can't be all about you and it can't be all about them. It's all about y'all, right? It's about all about each other. Selfishness will never create togetherness. What I've seen, right? I've had past experience in my life and what I've seen today, and I understand, right? Sometimes you're not getting what you deserve. I understand that, but don't take this out of context. Sometimes we can be so focused on what we're not getting from another person, so focused on complaints, so focused on what they not doing, so focused on how they not showing up, so focused on what they not giving you. And it might be truth, but we can be so focused on what they're not giving, right? Or we can be so focused on what you're not getting that you don't realize what you're not giving that person, right? You can be so focused on, I'm not getting this, but what are you giving, right? You can't expect to get something that you're not giving. You can't expect to get respect if you're not giving respect. You can't expect to get understanding if you're not giving understanding. And one of the things that I tell people, man, if you get obsessed with lighting the other person up, with making the other person smile, with doing for the other person, your friends, your significant other, whoever, your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, partner in business, if you get obsessed with bringing out the best in them, it becomes contagious throughout a relationship. But when we get in a selfish mode, when we think that it's all about us, that's when you build disconnect. You should be obsessed with lighting that person up. They should be obsessed with lighting you up. You should be obsessed with making them smile. You should be obsessed with bringing joy to their heart instead of tears to their eyes. You should be obsessed with bringing confidence to their life instead of stress to their life. And when you have that congruency in a relationship, it becomes powerful. And I promise you, it's reciprocated. But if you're always thinking about, oh, what I'm not getting, then we become blind to what we're not giving, because maybe if you treated that person like a king, maybe he would operate that way. Maybe if you treated that woman like a queen, she would operate that way. Maybe if you treated that friend like they deserve to be treated, maybe they would operate like that. And I'm not saying you can make a person become who they don't want to become. Don't take this out of context. But tonight, I want to focus on that, because sometimes we're expecting a person to become something or be something, and we're not treating them like that. Right? So think about that. Selfishness will never create togetherness. In a relationship, you should be more into taking away the stress than being the stress. You should be more into adding peace to their life instead of adding chaos to their life. Okay, so that's number 2. Okay, selfishness will never create togetherness. Number 3, why relationships fail. And I'm kind of piggybacking off of number 2. We don't do this enough. Okay, and I'm gonna use the word obsession, which is a strong word, but I'm talking about a positive obsession. Let me tell you this. I put this in a beautiful quote that makes sense. Would you, try to think of the best way to put this. You wouldn't expect a beautiful garden without watering the plants, right? So why are you expecting a beautiful relationship without watering that person's needs? You wouldn't expect, right, a beautiful garden. Right? You wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect to have a beautiful garden without taking care of the garden. And so many times in relationships, we expect to have a beautiful relationship without taking care of that other person. Right? Without looking out for the other person, without praying for the other person, without helping that other person. And it makes no sense, right? Ignoring your partner's needs and still expecting a beautiful relationship is like ignoring your plants need water and still expecting a beautiful garden. I'm gonna repeat. Yeah, that's a quote right there. Ignoring your partner's needs. You hear me? Ignoring your partner's needs, because I'm not making excuses for anybody. But when you ignore your partner's needs and then they become something because they're being ignored, you got to make sure you're fulfilling that person's needs, your friends or whoever it may be, whatever your situation may be. So I'm going to repeat that quote. Ignoring your partner's needs and still expecting a beautiful relationship is like ignoring your plants need water and still expecting a beautiful garden. It's insane. Okay, it's not going to happen. Fulfill their needs. Become obsessed with it. Last but not least, okay, you have to support each other. And I know that seems simple, but most relationships fail because too many people are operating like opponents when they should be operating like teammates. I cannot stand this, and I get it. Listen, if you got to talk bad about the person you with, why you with that person? If you got to post your business on social media, why you with that person? Because I'm going to be real with you. You look like a fool by staying with someone that you talking bad about. Like, you got to support each other. And if you feel like you can't support each other, why are you with that person? Why are you in that friendship? Why are you with that team? Support is everything in a relationship. You should be their biggest cheerleader. They should find their biggest supporter in you. They should find their believer in you. You're not the one that shoots down their dreams. You're supposed to be the one that builds up their dreams. And vice versa. Y'all supposed to be the ones rooting for each other no matter what comes against y'all. That's a relationship. Right? No matter what comes against y'all, y'all supposed to have each other's back. They should find their biggest supporter in you, and you should find their biggest supporter in them. Stop operating like opponents when you're on the same team. Stop breaking that person down. Stop talking bad about that person to your friends. Stop talking about your friends to other friends. Stop being messy. Right? If you feel like you got to do that, why are you in that situation? If I feel like I got to talk bad about somebody to other people, if I feel like that, why am I in that situation? Why am I in that situation? Right? I'm going to remove that stuff from myself. If I feel like I got to go on Facebook and talk bad about the person that I'm with, why am I in that situation? And then what happens is you tell your business on social media and you get mad with everybody in your business. You send out the invitation. I got to go, man. All right. But like I tell you, it all starts with you. Let's get it.